want to talk about something near and dear to my heart. I woke up one morning and I'm older and I don't know what to do about it. I kept thinking about when I was in my 20s and I was happy and I was carefree and I could do whatever I want. And when I got to my 30s, I'm still having a good time. But as I got into my 40s, things started to slow down. And my body started to change as I got into my 50s. So all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, how can I go back to the future? And so I started to look at everything, and a lot of my friends kept talking about what they had done. You know, you get older and you're going through the hot flashes and the menopause, and you don't feel good, and, you know, the people in your life, you've got your mood swings, and age changes all of us. And I kept thinking, you know, how can I get back to the way I felt when I was in my 20s and my 30s? So I talked to a lot of my girlfriends, and they all talked about different things they had done. The Mona Lisa, some of the other things that were out there to change vaginal rejuvenation. That's what we're talking about right now. Because as we go through menopause and we get the hot flashes and, you know, mood swings and the weight and all that, things change in our bodies. So we all want to have the fountain of youth. So I started to look at everything, and I saw the lasers deals, and I started to look at that, and I started to scare me, and I was looking at the shots and all that. And then it's something that I looked at really amazed me, and it was something to do with vaginal rejuvenation. But what it was radio frequency, and quite frankly, that made me think about what's going on with this thing. So I started to look at it, and I go to the spas, I go to the med spas and some of the other spas, and everybody had something different that they did. So when I started to call around on the spas, they would tell me, you know, you need to come in, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I asked them if they had a medical doctor or had medical technicians on staff, and they said, you know, we have our personnel there. So it started to scare me. So the more I looked at it, I've called around, I've talked to different people. I called one day and I talked to a man by the name of Dr. Ricther. It's Compassionate Care for Women. And I have Dr. Ricther with me, and I'd like to introduce him to you. And I went in to see him, and here's what he had to say to me. Hi, Ricther, Dr. Ricther. Welcome to my show.
Good to see you again, Suzy.
Yes.
So let me explain to you what I perceived when you first came in. Obviously, you were a highly motivated lady with a lot of energy, and you obviously had done your homework.
Yes.
And I went to go through the different technologies, and I could tell that you had already done all that.
Right.
But I explained to you what it was that we wanted to do, because a lady is not just sticking a device inside a vagina and having it create a better day.
Yep.
So we did a little bladder test. We discovered some changes, which I think we're on the verge of, you know, correcting. And after we're done, I'll be quiet and let Suzy explain to you exactly what Suzy did. I explained to you what the procedure was and what we wanted to do. You came back, you were going to come back the next day. You said, no, let's just do it right now. I said, that's fine. The procedure took about 45 minutes. I think we both commented on the fact that it was painless, that you felt some warmth, and we spent 30 minutes talking with the technician that was with me as a chaperone and a helper.
Right.
And the time passed, and you left, and then you called me back 3 days later.
Yes.
And you said, this thing really works.
Yes, it does.
And I said, yeah, Suzy, I really think that it works for a lot of people. And you just sounded amazed, because I guess you thought it was just
I was totally
smoke and
amazed.
mirrors, or
absolutely, that's exactly what I thought it was.
Just a flim-flam thing or whatever else. I think now you've had 2 treatments out of 3 that could be recommended.
Right.
But the changes that you saw were dynamic enough to not only have you come back,
phenomenal.
But I think I even got a phone call from a very significant other who wanted to say, Dr. Ricther, thank you very, very much. And I said, well, you're very welcome. Who is this? And he said, he told me his name.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm Suzy's fiance.
Yes.
And I said, oh, very pleased to speak with you.
Yeah.
And he said, this is a quickie. I just wanted to say thank you. And you've made Suzy a new lady, and I benefit from it, and I'm grateful. And I was really impressed. And then you said, you know, we've seen a lot of advertisements for getting a better banana or
Right.
whatever you've seen
What
the
about
billboards
women?
are.
Yeah.
But when was the last time you saw one for ladies?
Right.
And I guess, I don't know why people don't, try
I
to
don't
spread the
either.
word, but
Yeah.
hopefully that's what this is going to do.
Yeah.
I think the other comment that you made was you said, why is it your prices are about half of what it is
That's
everyone
exactly
else?
what I said. Everybody had more
And I
expense than
said,
you.
it's because these are for my patients. These are not trying to get rich. It's not going to happen.
Right.
But it's something to help those patients that are in need to have a better life. And one thing that we really push at Compassionate Care for Women at my practice is not just good medical attention, but for quality of life.
Right.
I mean, how
Absolutely.
many 13-year-old girls do we have come in that have horrible cramps and bleeding, and they just have a hormonal issue that needs to be taken care of, but with something that would be perceived
Right,
as
absolutely.
birth control, like a pill. So I talked to the mom and explained to her what's going on, and many times the mom will say, that happened to me when I was a girl, but my mom
Right.
wouldn't give it to me because she thought I was going to go have sex. And I go, please, that's between you and the daughter. She goes, no, we have to make it better
That's right.
and move
Absolutely.
on. And
Yeah.
so she does the mother-daughter talk, and sure enough, about 2 months later, the mom and daughter come back, and they're very pleased. This is no different. This
Right.
is technology that's used to help ladies have a better life. Now, does everyone need to have a better sex life?
Of course they
Well,
do.
I don't know. That's for each person to decide. And how much money is a better sex life worth? Obviously, half as much as everyone else charges, but my point is that's not the issue.
No,
I'll
that
work
is
with
not
any
the issue.
patient, I'll do anything that the patient needs, but to let them have a better life is crucial.
That's number
And-
one.
And that's
Beyond a
why,
shadow of a doubt. That's why I came to you.
and that's why I'm here with you today,
Yeah.
because you are as passionate as I am that ladies
Absolutely.
deserve to have a better life.
Without a doubt.
I think people are impressed. I have a success rate that is approaching 87%. Not everything is
That's
right
phenomenal.
for everybody.
Yep.
Some people will not be able to benefit from it. But the difference is by having the evaluation by someone who is a professional. I mean, obviously, I would like people to come see me because I believe that what we do in our offices is quality care. But to have a true evaluation from all angles, a lady's bladder, the vagina, the sensitivity,
Yes.
other problems that she has, maybe it's medications that she's on.
Right.
These need to be evaluated. And with all due respect, no disrespect to the spas, they serve a purpose. But there's no way that you can have somebody
Right.
just stick something inside a lady's vagina. I
You
mean,
don't know.
what could be more intimate than that? And to say, well, you're going to be just fine. How do you know that? When was the lady's last pap smear? What do they see when they look inside? They don't even look. So my point is that's why
Yeah.
I think that this is so important, to have ladies have a better life
That's right.
at all stages of their life.
Well, that's why I brought you in, and that's why I wanted to go through the whole thing, because nobody has anything on TV, on YouTube about exactly what we're talking about from start to finish.
Now, not to interrupt, but I
Yeah.
want to make a disclaimer,
Yeah.
is that everyone's entitled to opinion. So no disrespect to
Yeah.
other technologies,
Right.
Mona Lisa and laser, but I have seen too many problems created by that I wasn't able to take care of necessarily
Right.
for ladies that have had that technology. So maybe we're a victim of our experience, but to warm tissues as opposed to shooting lasers, into them, there's just a difference. And once again, I am more a proponent for the radio wave and not so much for the laser. So again, please, don't misunderstand
Right.
me. I'm not here to pick a fight with any technology. It's just that I know this works, and I'm hard pressed to think how anyone can have a complication from it ever. And
That's what I want
like.
to talk about, Doc. When I came in to see you, I was pleasantly surprised. You sat down, you explained to me everything that was going to happen, and we went through all of it, and your assistant was very good. You did the bladder test before we even started. You checked me out to make sure that everything was fine. I really appreciate that, because I want my body.
I even suggested you have a mammogram, which
Yes,
you said, what
you
does that
did.
have to do with my vagina? And I said, nothing, but it's you.
That's right.
So-
Yes. And that's what I really like about this, because, you're the complete compassionate care, Doc. I really appreciate it. But when you explained the whole thing to me and everything that we, went through that day, I had a really good feeling about it, and I felt comfortable through the whole procedure. you explained to me about the machine, about what you were going to do, and about how this was going to heat up. This was attached to the machine. When I laid there, most women wonder what's going to happen when you go in. That's the big thing. That's what I really want to talk about. What happened when I went in? So I went in. You did the bladder test after that. Then you checked and found out that everything was okay. You gave me some medication for that, and I'm still on that right now, and I feel fantastic. But with the procedure, I didn't know what to expect either when I went in. And it was, I believe you said 12, 3, 6, and 9. So you heat up the machine. This is attached to the machine. And there was another pad that you would put on my leg. I remember that. And you had like it was the blue gel or whatever it is that you use.
Conducting gel.
Yeah, conducting gel. And you started it, and you were very nice and very kind to me, and you said that if it gets hot, please let me know. And you were very, very good. You answered all my questions as this whole thing was progressing, and I could feel changes. It just amazed me how much I could feel in a very short time. And so when we started this went on for about 45 minutes, and I actually felt like I had part of my, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I actually felt like I had part of my body back, because when you go through menopause and hot flashes and all that, you almost feel like part of your body is gone. I don't know if you can explain that to our audience or not.
As our tissues get older,
Yes.
the reepithelialization of the vagina and places like that just can't keep up. So
No.
we have better looking skin, better feeling skin
Yeah.
when we're 25 or 35.
Correct.
As we get older, that goes through changes that you can't necessarily
Right.
stop. But what the technology with radio waves is that this is the part that actually does the conducting. Obviously, this is connected to the machine, which is out of the way. And this is the only part that actually goes inside the vagina. So it's less obtrusive than even having a speculum exam, and less discomfort than having a pap smear. Which you had current, so I didn't make you do it.
Absolutely.
Again, that's what it does, is that this warms up the vagina about 101, your body temperature 98.6. So you just feel warm. And I think the hardest part is to probably lie there without having to move for perhaps 45 minutes. So we overcome that by trying to take your mind off of it and talk about things. Or you can bring your tunes and listen to them, or you can just put up with the chitter chatter. But you had so many questions that the time passed so quickly. I think you know more about radio technology now than I probably do. Since if I'm not
Absolutely.
mistaken, you went to a couple of the spas, and
I
the
did.
young girl said, okay, that'll be whatever, $1,000.
That's what she
Go have a
said.
seat over there and just open your vagina and your legs. And Suzy was going,
No.
really? My boyfriend has ties that are older than you are.
Yeah,
And
that's
by the way,
right.
and now that you're married, Mazel
Yes.
Tov, congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you so much.
And that was probably what scared you the most,
It did.
was that somebody would actually have you walk into an office,
Yeah.
have you pay money, which of course you have to do up front.
Oh, well.
It would appear.
Yeah, you do.
Because they don't.
No, and it's in
kind of a
sessions.
money-making. Anyway, let's get off of that.
Okay.
But my point is that this is non-invasive. It is comfortable. The results are able to be duplicated.
Right.
There are a lot of positive outcomes that you will have with this, but again, it has to be tailored to the patient. And that's why I think that we do a better job.
Well, that's what's
because
so important,
now
Doc.
you're going to be a patient of ours, and we're going to make sure that every year you have your mammogram and things like that.
Right.
But it's quality of life.
Yeah.
I think every lady deserves to have that at whatever age. 12 years old and having irregular, horrible menstrual cycles that she loses
Right.
days from school, can't play her soccer when she wants to. That's just wrong. There are ways of taking care of that, obviously with the mother's blessing.
Right.
But I've had too many patients say, well, why is it someone didn't talk to us about this before? And maybe that's a take-home message. It's the rapport with the
Right.
patient that you have to establish.
Well, that's what this was all about. That's why I felt so comfortable with you, because you answered my questions. No question was too stupid or too crazy. I mean, all of us out there have questions, and I know when I'm driving up and down DI or some of the other roads, a better banana. Well, what about women? Why don't we have something for women? I mean, that was my biggest question. Why don't we have something for us?
I think this would be more rewarding than a box of chocolates for Mother's Day.
I do too.
I think that if ladies and gentlemen can talk,
Yeah.
if ladies can take charge of their life,
That's right. That's what
then
this
I
is
have
all
a feeling
about.
that this is going to be part of it.
Right.
And your job today is to empower the people out there that are listening to you,
Right.
so that they say, yeah, I deserve this.
Well, absolutely. So let's get back to what happened. I want to bring you back to what happened when I finished. I got done that day, and you told me it was going to be like, when we finished with this, you said it would be a little bit of tenderness or whatever, but I really didn't feel any different, and I felt really good when I left. I mean, I actually felt like Back to the Future. Like, instead of Marty McFly, I felt like Martina McFly. I was in such a good mood, I couldn't believe it. And I thought, is it just euphoria, or is it really for real? So I believe between the first treatment and the second, what is it, about 2 weeks, I think it is, between the treatments?
A little over 3.
Over 3 weeks, okay. All right, so I did that. You had given me some medication, some cream I used also. So, I mean, there's a few steps to the process, folks. So what I liked about it was Doc was available to be able to talk to me if I had any questions, and I did have questions after that, so he really is available. And I made the appointment to come in for the second one, and it was amazing. From the first treatment to the second treatment, I actually even felt better after the second treatment. But it's like a work in progress. You don't do one and done. You need to do a couple treatments of this, because we didn't get this way overnight. You know, we went from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to right now I'm over 60, and I'm not afraid to tell everybody that. But it's nice to have the feeling of elasticity and the collagen back. I mean, I really feel good. I mean, there's a total change in the way I feel.
A tighter vagina.
Yeah.
Increased natural lubrication.
Yes, absolutely.
And increased sensitivity.
Yes.
And if you can do that in less than 3 months to take away 30 years,
That's what I did.
I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I know we live in an immediate society. You drive through, you get your
Yeah.
burger or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it does.
But this is totally amazing. And what I'd like to do is I believe in it so much, you know. I want you to be a part of Suzy's Las Vegas Lifestyles, and I think we should do business together. And I do want to offer a special incentive for people watching today, because we're going to have a code at the end of the show. And I definitely, I've got, 2 more treatments, I believe, with you too, don't I? Yeah. And then okay, so we do 3 treatments or 4, and I also want to...
Everyone's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
There are some ladies who actually have come back after having the 3 treatments,
Right.
and have come back in like about 4 to 5 months,
Yeah.
because they can feel that things are starting to change the other way. But it's a perception. If the
Right.
lady does the 3 treatments and doesn't need to
Right.
come back for a year, then so be it.
Right.
But the perception, this is my point, folks, is that ladies have to understand that what you feel is real. And as you feel the changes, that's what your, do they call us healthcare providers now? I hate that. What your doctor is supposed to do. And they're supposed to empower you to talk about what you feel and what we can do then to make it better. And after explaining the different options, then the lady decides where she wants to start, if at all. On the other hand, maybe it's not something that she needs, but at least she's aware of it. And that's what
Right.
I think my function is to give information, to explain things, make sure that she understands what the technology is. She can do her own homework. We have information in the office that they're welcome to have. That's the key, is you have to have someone that you trust and someone that you know is on your side. And if you think I'm talking about me, actually I'm talking about Suzy.
That's right.
Because she feels strongly that ladies have been a second-rate concern.
Right.
And that was why she kept asking me during the first time we were together, I see the better banana, but where the hell is the advertising for the women? How come you don't put this out there?
Yeah.
Well, advertising is very expensive. And I'm not sure whether it works or not. I have never done very much advertising.
Right. That's
It's
why
all
we're
word
gonna
of mouth.
advertise.
It's referrals from my patients. But Suzy's a more dynamic individual. And if she can explain why perhaps you deserve it, maybe that will make more sense, because every lady deserves to have the best she can have at every stage of her life. And to
Right.
take second or
That's
to
right.
take less is just a crime. So I would encourage you to at least consider the product and consider the service And like I said, Suzy's a pretty straight shooter.
Yeah.
And I think that you can pretty much trust Suzy to give you her insights. Now, again, not everything is for everybody,
Right.
but if we can hit 87%, I think that's significant.
Exactly.
So meaning that means that almost 9 out of 10 ladies are going to be able to benefit from this. I would encourage you to, to consider it.
Well, you know, Doc, I want to tell you something. You remember when my fiance called you up, who is now my husband, and he's very happy.
Can we use his name?
Yes, Larry.
Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah, Larry.
Yes.
Larry's a hoot. He really is. If you think Suzy's straightforward, you should be Larry.
He has a new dimension. I've met my match.
They were a couple.
Yeah, but you know, the funny thing is stop and think about all the men out there that want their wives to. Just imagine if he could give her that feeling of what it was like when they got married or they were together, 10 years, 20 years, when they were in their 20s and 30s. What would imagine that gift, Doc. I mean, how awesome that is. Just to feel young again. And, you have all the feelings together with each other. And you really do want to make love and you want to be together. And there's nothing that you can't do. I mean, I think it's amazing. But,
Now, one thing I would warn you about, gentlemen, you do not want to buy a gift certificate and put it under her pillow, because the first thing she might think is that, things aren't good enough from his point of view. You might want to have an intimate conversation first and say, hon, I've always wondered whether or not whether it's good enough for you. And if she says, well, what do you mean? That's when you can talk about maybe what you would like to be able to give her.
It's a beautiful
and
gift.
Be able to explain to her that that she is all that you could ever hope for, but you're trying to do something for her.
Right.
And that is why you want to make sure that you have a conversation. First, it's not like you would put a gift certificate in a Hallmark card, because again, she can misunderstand it. So
Correct.
Gentlemen, she will see your sincerity. Show that
It's
first.
the perfect Christmas gift.
And then ask her
Or
if she would be
Valentine's Day.
interested
Or birthday.
in giving it a try to see
Right.
if you could maximize her enjoyment. And like I said, go gently. Go
It
gently.
goes your enjoyment too, as we say.
Yeah, you're going to benefit from it also.
Yeah.
But my point is that, make sure that she understands that this is your caring, your consideration,
For her.
you're wanting the best for her. So,
I want to talk to you about one other thing,
Yeah.
because our show is going to be wrapping up very shortly. But with you do facials also, right?
it's the same technology, and it's also for face, neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me a little bit about that procedure, because I know we're going to do that next when I come in to see you, and I believe we can put some video on it. The facial is, what is it, like a 20-minute facial, or how long is it?
We usually do both sides. We divide you into quadrants. There are usually 3 quadrants depending.
Okay.
So there's the upper, the middle, and then toward the bottom.
Okay.
With the same technology, by warming up the tissues, it increases the collagen, just like it did as we were describing in the vagina.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a slower process. It's not going to be as harsh as well. The CO2 coaxial laser,
Right.
I don't know if you've ever seen someone that has it done, but about day 2 or day 3, they look like the Hulk. Is that the one that has all the...
yeah, that's the one, I know.
Anyway, it looks
Skin
pretty brutal.
resurfacing or whatever?
Yeah, and it takes about the first 5 layers off, so it's pretty severe, kind of painful. This is not. This, again, you feel some warmth, and we usually try to include this with the Vitalia just to say thank you as they come back for their follow-up visits. But this does the same thing as the Botox does. It's just obviously a lot less expensive,
Sure.
not painful, but again, successful.
I've had the resurfacing, and yes, I did look like the Hulk
Yeah,
for a
you-
day or two after that.
Did you really?
So I'm
Ooh.
definitely going to try that. So that would be an awesome gift to be able to put something. I'm sure you have packages too.
Of course.
We can put them on Suzy's Las Vegas Lifestyles, and again, I'll put a special code on for everybody that's watched my show and give us a like. And I'm sure I'm going to have Dr. Lawson Ricther back on again. But again, I really wanted to talk about this because nobody really talks about it, and us ladies need to take charge of our lives and really have a chance to enjoy life like the men do. We deserve it too. And that's why I'm here with you today, and that's why I wanted to bring this out. And I really appreciate you being on my show with me today. Now, let me ask you a question. To be able to to do this, what are the age ranges that you recommend to have something like this done?
The youngest patient I've had so far was 22. She's had 5 kids. The oldest I've done is 78.
Wow, that's a big age range.
Everybody has needs. Everyone has different experiences.
Okay.
But the kids did quite a number on the youngster.
Really?
And and she was amazed at how much better things were.
Uh-huh.
The other lady I spoke of, she had significant atrophic changes. In other words, her skin was parchment-like. It was really
Right.
very friable.
Yeah.
And she noticed a tremendous difference because she's still sexually active.
Okay.
God bless her.
Yeah.
But after the second treatment, she found that she was using less lubrication than she used with her
Yeah.
husband, that she didn't have that chronic irritation and pain that she had had, before that. And she's due to come in about a week for her 3rd treatment, and she giggles almost as much as Suzy
Almost
does.
as much as I do.
Because she thought that it was just smoke and mirrors as well.
Yeah.
And she said, I never dreamed that it was really going to work.
Yeah.
But it did. And
Well, if I can say one thing, it really has worked. And I've tried the lubrication, I've tried everything and anything, but it's funny because your skin gets so thin and it would hurt. And I'm sure there's a lot of ladies out there that don't want to talk about what it really feels like. You don't want to hurt your significant other or your husband or whatever. You don't want him to feel bad that he's killing you or hurting you or whatever. But after you start to do this and you start working with this, I got to tell you, I mean, I was doubting Suzy, or doubting Thomas, but it really does work. After the first treatment, I felt good, but when I got into the second one, I mean, I just can't believe the difference, and the difference in the way I feel, and the difference in how I act. I mean, I feel young again. I really do. I feel like I'm 29.
I'm very glad. And it's a privilege to be with you.
Well, thank you. So thank you very much, and come back to the show. Thank you, Dr.
Suzy,
Ricther.
very, very much.